Hello, friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to a chill stream where we just hang out and talk community. And this stream is for you, each and every one of you that are subscribers, that are supporting me. Welcome to the show. I am getting over a cold. You can probably hear it from my voice. I'm feeling way better, but still I'm a little foggy. Let's just say hello to everyone that's here. Hermano, hello. And Jan or Jan, GT, welcome back. Ran, hello. Radika, hello. Una Catfish. And I think Una Catfish mentioned they tune in just to see what I've done with my hair. It's the same. I haven't done anything new. Hello, Ryan. And Flamingo, welcome. Alan, tuning in. Ted, greetings from Kenya, welcome. And Sean, hello. Alka, you made it. And Vias and Luis and AJ and Chris. Yes, I did a bit of beard trimming as well. Cool. But yes, this is a stream where I will just figure out what I'm going to do, and to kind of like break it down in terms of how I have been planning things so far, or at least been trying to plan things. So there are a few different places where I'm trying to keep track of things, and yeah, just that. And I want to talk about like what's the best way to get feedback from the community, to organize these in a way, these ideas and various things in a way that is manageable, and allows the community to give feedback and vote on things and such. So just to talk about like what I'm currently doing, I do have this poll website. It's poll.coding.garden. I think I've had this since the channel started to get a bit popular, and it allows people to log in and vote. So this is one thing. It allows people to basically submit whatever idea they want, and then other people can vote on it. And you can see based on the number of hearts, these are the things that are kind of like moving up in the list. And there are a lot of suggestions, which is awesome. But then I also have this Trello board where I have been taking the things that are on the poll and then things that are also suggested in the Discord and attempting to lay them out in a way that describes like what am I currently doing, what am I planning, what are all the ideas and suggestions. And then of course I have a GitHub organization where right now I don't really have a repo where we can collaborate and talk about planning. Maybe that's what comes out of this chat today, don't really know. And I guess the other thing is on the Discord there is a stream suggestions channel, and pretty much the stuff that goes in here feeds into the Trello board, but at the same time it's still kind of disorganized. It's hard to organize like what's the most popular and what should I actually do. And it's also a mix of ideas and tech. And like one of my goals today is to kind of like maybe split those apart. So we have a place where it's app ideas or it's like stream ideas, and that's like mostly technology agnostic. And then we also have a place where we have various back-end tech or front-end tech or database tech, and we can have that listed there, and there can be conversation around that. And then maybe they can feed into each other, like these are the most common or popular tech that are being suggested. This is the most common idea, so let's merge those. I have no idea, but mainly that's where my head's at. And hello, Fernando and Justin and Josh, welcome. Oh yeah, and Jan said I got his name right. I worked for a guy whose name was Jan a while back. And Hermano was saying a CSS focused app. Ooh, gross. And I did one stream where I did like a CSS challenge. And so actually, one thing I will do is, and this is another thing I'm trying out, codesandbox.io actually allows me to write code and share it so other people can see literally what I'm writing in real time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go live and then make it classroom mode, and I will share this URL. So anyone that's watching can go to that URL, and you should be able to see what I'm typing here. And if people are nice enough, I will allow other people to start to collaborate as well, and we can kind of like type into the same document. Cool. And let's do this. So let's create another file, new file. Let's just call this ideas.markdown. And a good suggestion from Josh is a subreddit. So like I use Reddit a lot, and the idea there is like most popular ideas kind of like float to the top. There is a comment area. Actually, I like that a lot. This is probably more in terms of like organization. So like a subreddit, and the pluses here are user voting. There's like comments and replies. I mean, I think, and if I also talk about like what are the goals of all of this, and like what do we want to maintain? Main thing is like community. I don't really want anything to be anonymous. That could be one downfall of Reddit, is that like literally anybody could visit the subreddit. But I want ideas, and people have those ideas, to be like tied to those things. You're not just creating fake accounts and like boosting ideas, that kind of thing. Let's see who's joined. Ooh, look at all the people. Awesome. So I like it. So in terms of like organizing things, we could have a subreddit. Another idea, and this actually comes from Coding Train, is they have a GitHub repo, and the way this works is like issues. So if you have an idea, you submit an issue there, and then because an issue has like a comment thread, you can start to like talk and comment on it there as well. The only thing with that is, and I think like ultimately, and what I've been thinking about is, I may end up writing an app that helps with all of this user submitted ideas and organization, that could potentially be a spin-off of this app, where instead of just like, what video should I make, I have multiple questions like, what tech do you want to see, and those get upvoted, and then what app do you want to see, that kind of thing. Oh, and that's true. And I do have, like, I started on a Reddit clone. I think it's still out there. Seedling, I think it is. It's been a while since I worked on this one, but this one is using, is it Firebase, I think? And so we were doing like a subreddit clone here, but you can have topics, people can submit. We actually, I think I did log in with Google, so there is like user accountability here. Definitely. So like a subreddit, user voting, comments and replies. Like maybe use Reddit clone as a base. Dunno. I think, can I enable chat on here? Yeah, and JT's mentioning a good old-fashioned forum. I think like the main thing is like it could be a forum, but I want to maintain some semblance of organization. So there could be subtopics on the forum that are tech, that are app ideas, just your old, what was it, like BBS or something, bulletin board system. Let's see. I think there's a way to enable chat on here. Preferences, project info, sharing. This is one of the first times I've ever used this thing, so we'll see. Chat enabled. There we go. Cool. Okay, so if you're in the room, feel free to send a message in here, and if you have ideas or you want to take control, you can maybe start typing what idea you have. I realize this is like the live stream is a little bit delayed, so you might be typing there as well. Chance is mentioning a Slack community. Actually, I do have a Discord, so I have this, and it seems to work pretty well. Like I've broken it down into various channels. Stream suggestions is working, but I guess like I mentioned, it goes in here, that kind of feeds into the Trello board, but it's still a little bit disjointed. Chris is mentioning, maybe it's great to collaborate on GitHub projects with the team in Code Sandbox. There's other people. Yeah, and Amrano is mentioning GitHub is good because it has all the features you want and it is code specific. I mean, I think I like that, and there is user accountability there because pretty much everyone, if you're coding, you pretty much most likely have a GitHub account. So that could work. And maybe we have like we could do like labels. Let's play around with this for a second. So like if we create a repo and let's just call this planning, because I mean it's going to have ideas, suggestions, topics. Let's call this community planning. And initialize it with a README. Let's go MIT, go. I mean, I think this could work. It really will require a bit of moderation, because I mean, one thing I do like about like issues on GitHub are you can also do labels. So we could have labels for tech, idea, series suggestion. I think this is one thing I didn't mention was show and series ideas. So like if I go ahead and write out like what are some of the shows that I'm currently doing, or like the types of shows, shows and series. So there is the code kata stream, and I'd like to continue doing that, but that can definitely branch off into more than just code cods. It's like code challenges in general. There are the noob quest streams, which I do with Tony. And one thing that has been thrown around in the community, and what like people have requested before, is other noobs out there in the world want to pair with me and kind of work on an app together. So that's definitely an idea I want to explore, but it's more of just like the logistics of it. Like, yeah, just logistics. So it used to be called Newbie Tuesdays. Let's say like Noob Quest / Newbie Tuesdays. There, in terms of like streams I've done, there are like just basically like tutorials, right? Like it was streams I'm thinking of are like Intro to Angular, Intro to Redux, Intro to Vuex. It was less collaborative and like taking input and building something. It was more of like, okay, here's this thing that people want to learn about. Yes, let's catch up. Oh my goodness, people have good ideas. Let's rename this thing, unless there's already been some issues or anything. I like it. So there's a suggestion from who was it? Let's see. JT suggested landscaping. I like that. Or Armando suggests garden planning. I think I'm gonna go with landscaping. I love all this. Like if you've seen in the Discord, we have different roles which represent different types of users. So I'm the gardener. There's pruners who are the moderators. Fertilizers are patron contributors. There's also droplets who are donors. People have done like super chat or just a donation. And then there's seedling. That's pretty much anyone else. But I like to stick to the gardening theme. Let's do it though. Let's make this landscaping. Cool. And I do like the idea of pretty much we can use issues here. I have played around with the idea of projects. So another thing and a repo that I recently created was community contributions. So one thing that I usually don't have enough bandwidth for, but I like to do, is having outlines or timestamps for my videos. And huge shout out to Spibo, who has contributed 2 of them now. But basically on here, I have issues for like things that I'm looking for. And then I have a GitHub project, which has those various to-dos, and we can move them into in progress and done. So we could potentially use a similar style for like landscaping and ideas. Cool. Let's see. I'm gonna catch up on the chat. Alan says, you, sir, are amazingly organized. I love it. I'm trying. I think that's the thing. Like, I'm organized in certain ways, but it's really a matter of how do these things fit together, and how does it influence what I do, or how does it influence like what people watch? And hello, gaming, but not really. Welcome back. Oh, Hermano is HSN from Discord. Cool, yeah. Been pretty active recently in like the help channels and stuff like that, which is awesome. Owlv says, found you on the Coding Train collab and got hooked instantly. Appreciate that. Yep. And hey, Ashwak, welcome to the stream. Cool idea from JT, community challenges. And this is something that I've definitely wanted to do. Basically just, I guess, okay, do we put this? This is like organization ideas. I guess even now I'm even more disjointed. Organization, let's just say show types ideas. And I really like basically community challenges. So I post a challenge like build a landing page with Sass, and potentially I maybe do a stream where I'm doing it, but other people have the chance to do it as well, and then we can do a follow-up stream where we just show everything that the community built. That was one idea that I put in stream suggestions recently. It was called a hack-along, where basically I would build something, but then everyone else would build a similar thing, and then we could have a show where we review and show everything that everyone has built, which would be cool. Cool. Yeah, and Emrano was mentioning separate code katas from other shows. Reason being, code katas is simple and focused as they should be. So I do like that. So like keep code katas, but potential other ideas are just like just challenges. So like could be a specific algorithm challenge or something that's more tech focused, but just like code challenges, maybe. Cool. Yeah, and JT is mentioning like a proper hackathon. So I think that's awesome. Like we could, and potentially like, I don't know if there are other viewers out there that are thinking about live streaming or anything like that. But that'd be really cool to see like people in the community live stream themselves working on this hackathon that we're all working on together. Community hackathon. Oh, interesting. Flamingo has just a general suggestion, a replica to the Copart website. It's a wrecked auto auction, but it's responsive. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and Radhika is mentioning like GitHub issues are probably the most advanced forum software in the web. And like that's the interesting thing is because like, okay, basically issues are like topics, and then any given issue can have comments on it. You can react, like people can react to a specific comment, which shows like interest in it. You can add labels. I agree. Oh, interesting. Alka is mentioning, so for a while, Shiftman from Coding Train would show things that the community made from the week before at the beginning of the stream. I like that. So just in terms of, I do a stream, I build something, and then like put a challenge to the community at the end, like how can you make this better? Let's see your version of it, and then the next time show what people did. Cool. Kat is asking, how long ago did I learn to code? I've been coding for roughly 15 years now, professionally for about 7 or 8 years. Cool. So I don't think we've settled on anything, but I really do appreciate all of the input and feedback because I mean, it does seem like GitHub is the way to go, but I think I'll probably want to create some sort of like contributing guide or some sort of like what type of issues do you open here, and then we can definitely have all the people that are currently moderators just help to maintain it, like because I know a lot of times there are like new people that find the channel, they don't know exactly how things work, and so they're just submitting random things and aren't really falling in line with the organization of things, but the community can definitely help police that. Yeah, in terms of show ideas, it would actually be really fun to, so Project Euler was mentioned. That could fall in line with like code katas, but just like computer science algorithms. So sorting, searching, data structures, that kind of thing, like that. Oh, that's and so another cool feature GitHub has is wikis. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the only thing with all of these things is like there's the potential for like not staying organized because there's so many different places you could put things. But there could be a wiki on how to contribute and like where your ideas go. I like that. Hello, Wally. Welcome to the stream. Yes, and Alco makes a very good point. Use a webhook from GitHub to post GitHub issues in the Discord. Absolutely. So, like right now, I wanted to do that with community contributions because there's that one repo specifically for this. But we could do it, maybe even create a separate channel where we see those issues coming in, and then people are able to kind of like jump on it and make sure they're categorized and fit the theme. Cool. And John is suggesting or saying, really like the code kata stuff and agree that tackling algorithms is a good idea. But for both of those, I would really enjoy a bite-sized version of it that really highlights it. And I mean, this is, I guess, something I've sort of wanted to do because right now, if you've seen my channel, most of it is live streams, like 1 hour, 2 hour long videos. There aren't a lot of like bite-sized content. I potentially could take things like code katas and break it down into like 10-minute videos of each of solving each of the things. But yeah, more, it could even just be like bite-sized live streams. Like I limit myself to 30 minutes and try to do something within that 30 minutes instead of like allowing myself to go 2 hours, 3 hours. Let's do this bite-sized. Huh? Get it? Limited to, let's say, 30 minutes. I mean, one of the things about me not editing my videos and just keeping live streams is it requires less planning and it's a lot easier for me to do. I can just click go live and do the thing and then it's done. But something like these more bite-sized streams would take a little bit more planning and just like be more direct on my part. Cool. Morty is suggesting, and hello Morty, welcome. Could I talk about workflow? Maybe I can put that on the list. Yes, so these are show types. I do like, I mean, potentially, like, had you suggested that elsewhere, I would put this on ideas and suggestions. Let's just add it for now because workflow, because a lot of people do want to see that. I know there were a lot of comments when people watched my coding train stream, just in terms of like, what editor do I use? What terminal do I use? One thing you're not seeing is like, what keyboard shortcuts do I use? That kind of thing. So that'd be good to talk about. Cool. No, and that's a good point. So Radhika is mentioning, hope it's still relatively long form. And I think, I mean, that's what a lot of people do like about the live streams that I do is I leave in all the mistakes. I leave in all of the thought process so people can actually see the real world process. Like you're out there in the world, you're a developer, you're writing code. It's not just a quick 10-minute thing and you get it done. Like it takes time. And so people like seeing that in my streams. Cool. Oh, good call, Alka. I have ideas as the name of the file. Let's just put show types here. Cool. And Gaming But Not Really is asking, so what are hackathons? They vary by type, but ultimately, like in its simplest form, it's time limited and everyone is focused on building an app around the same idea or the same API or the same constraints. So those things are released at the beginning of the hackathon, like you must use this tech or your app should solve this kind of problem. And then you might do it solo or you might do it in teams. You're given a set time. You have maybe 24 hours or, I mean, some hackathons might even be just a couple of hours. And then at the end of that like it's a hard stop, and everyone has to present what have you done, and then typically there might be prizes or a winner for who had the best hack in the hackathon. Hermano's mentioning a hackathon. It's a way for companies to appear cool and enslave you. No, and the thing is, like, a lot of I've seen a lot of larger companies do this, where basically they hear, oh, if we host a hackathon, we can get people to work for free. There are some where it actually is fun, and like, but some hackathons are like week long or weekend long, and the end result is like a real product or a real startup or something like that. Cool. My username is writer. I like seeing that I'm the only one that I'm not the only one who makes mistakes. It's helpful for my self esteem. Yes, I agree. Like one of my philosophies as a like an instructor is to not pretend to be anything that I'm not. Like I'm really good at what I do because I've been doing it for a very long time, but to like be honest when I make mistakes and like showing my process is really part of it. Cool. So lots of really good suggestions for show types. Organization, I think we've pretty much settled. Like let's try to use a GitHub repo for a while. So maybe I can start to just there's a really loud a really loud vehicle outside. So if we're gonna use the GitHub repo, just start to flesh out like how will we use the issues. Hello, John from Egypt. Welcome. Cool. Okay, so with the GitHub repo, we're going to use issues. So I think issues, and let's maybe talk about like labels. So we probably want, and what I was thinking about initially was, for one, just like tech agnostic app ideas. So let's say that tech agnostic app ideas. So like Reddit clone, Discord clone, Facebook Messenger clone. It's like, it's just a general idea for an app that should be built, but it's not do it with this tech. Cool. Another label will be just maybe you have like front end technology. What's happening? We do back end tech. Yeah, and so this is like all encompassing libraries, frameworks, anything that's going to be running inside of a browser, and then backend or just like APIs, databases, things like that. Cool. Cool. Yeah, and on the topic of hackathons, JT is mentioning it lets folks experiment with new things with minimal risk. If you fail, you fail, but you could also build a really cool thing. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the coolest thing. It's like you have a time constraint, so the you're forced to not spend time worrying about like what tech exactly you will use, or like other little things that we can talk about for hours and never actually get anything done. And it kind of like it forces you to like really do that thing. And Wally is asking, so it's like a channel update kind of thing? In a way, yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of didn't mention this at the beginning, but so I had been in New York City for roughly 3 months, working full time and not really having as much time as I used to stream. But before that, I was pretty much streaming like 5 days a week. I initially was kind of just streaming ideas that I had and wanted to stream, but then I started to get a lot of community feedback is like, I want to see this type of video, or I'm interested in this kind of thing. So that's when I created the poll and started this Trello board. But now I'm back in Denver, and we'll have a bit more time to organize things and like plan ahead as to like what kind of streams I'm going to be doing. So cool. And a suggestion from Rika. Something not directly tech related, so like workflow and tools. Like it. Ooh, I like this. I like this. Is so. This would be a suggestion from Jim, um, in more of like a show type. So, what about a series where you take old projects that are bad, um, but by using your current abilities, you fix and update them. I really like that. I also like maybe the idea of like a code review stream. So potentially it's like user submitted, and then we just refactor it. Maybe we do it as a pair, or maybe I just talk about like this is one place where you could extract to a function, or this is one place where we might start to split things up. I like this. So the suggestion was like take an old project and fix it up, but I kind of also see that as like a code review. But maybe it's a separate idea, like fix up old projects. Talk about what you know now that you didn't know then. Something like that. And hello, King David. Welcome to the stream. Ooh, interesting. So Ashfaq has a suggestion. Is it possible for you to do the MIT CS50 Eloquent JavaScript projects? Would that be any problem? I don't think so. So I did talk about computer science out and like algorithms, show types. But yeah, if you're not familiar with CS50, it's a YouTube channel that has like computer science classes that you can just like watch for free, which is cool. 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 And Jan kind of has a good point. So if we're talking about maybe like a hackathon or something that people are like lots of people are working on, they mentioned I don't have nearly as much experience as other people, and me doing the same challenge as someone else with much more experience wouldn't be that fun for me from a competitive standpoint. Um, what do I want to say about that? I think at the same time, like you don't I don't necessarily want it to be like a competition. It is just like you're working within your abilities and you're trying to get better at that specific thing. So like you do what you're capable of. And it could also be like we could form teams. So you may not have a lot of experience, but you could be on a team of someone with someone where you can learn a little bit. Um, but that's a good point. So like maybe like for these community hackathons, or hackalongs, it's like skill based. So like people that are totally new, this is a challenge for you, or people that are more intermediate. There's another a challenge for those people specifically. Cool. Chris is mentioning maybe you can create an organization group on GitHub where all the viewers of the channel are in the group. So I currently have an organization. I think one thing I can do to this repo specifically is I can add collaborators. So it doesn't have to be for the whole organization, but for this repo, anyone that I add would have the ability to like add labels or delete comments or move things around, that kind of thing. Cool. And King David is mentioning the Trello cone. Yeah, that was one thing. I did a little bit of planning and then just kind of like did it, but it was a pretty complex project. There was like the feathers view X, how it all linked together. We did auth. Yeah, that was a pretty tricky one. Hermano is mentioning free debugs. Yeah, so I do have the free debug sticker. I actually do like that. Just it's more of like user contributed code problems. One idea I had earlier today was almost like a radio show where you could like call in and say I'm having this problem, and maybe we debug it live on stream. So not like a code review, but more of a let's just say free debugs. Radio style, call in with problems, and we try to debug. It could also be maybe we have a separate repo for that where people can like upvote problems that they want to see done live. Because I mean, the only issue to that is like anything that you open up to the world is going to have 100 people with like fix my problem. But it could be a little more selective. I don't know. Gaming, but not really. I mean, it's a valid question. What's going to be going on your GitHub repo again? We're figuring that out. What I'm thinking is the issues here will be for basically for suggestions. So instead of using this poll, I mean, I think I eventually will have a Trello board because then you'll kind of see my planning process for anything that shows up here. But what I think is incoming suggestions will go into issues here instead of going to the poll and instead of going to this Trello board. So pretty much this will be one place where all of suggestions and ideas can go. And then I'll have a separate place where I can start to organize those things. Yeah, so let's write that here. Single place for all ideas and suggestions. Each idea or suggestion is an issue. And then each of those incoming issues gets labeled. And by the nature of GitHub issues, people can comment. People can also emoji react if if there's something that they really like. Let's also maybe talk a little bit about I don't know, like voting or feedback. Emoji react, like positive, to like vote for a topic. And potentially like GitHub has like a great API for like dialing in and seeing like what issues are there. We could even do some analytics, like what topics have the most comments on them, and is it because it's a popular idea or is it because it's something that needs to be fleshed out? Number of comments, replies. Cool. Cool. What's up, Bob? Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Hermano says, the Dr. Phil of code review. Wouldn't that be awesome, though? It's like, yeah, it's just like a live show and people call in with their problems, and I try to help. I don't know everything. I will say, I'm not going to be humble about this. I'm a very good debugger. I've helped so many students over the years, and just really have gotten a knack for getting dropped into a code base that I know nothing about or haven't seen before, and like dialing down to like what is the problem. So I'm pretty good at that. Bias is mentioning weekly CSS challenges. Let's add that because I never really did it, but this is definitely like a show type. So let's say CSS challenges. And I've talked about this before, like CSS is probably like one of my weakest points in like front end development. I'm decent at it, but I still have a lot to learn. Weekly. And Amy has a good suggestion or something you may not have seen before. She asks, will there ever be a JavaScript bedtime story again? I'm just gonna bring this up because it was I did it like on a whim, and it was like a lot of people liked it. Let's see. Coding Garden JavaScript bedtime. Okay, 350 views, so it's like not as popular anymore. But basically, this was like 11:30 at night, and I was like, I'm gonna stream this, and I put on like really relaxing music in the background, and then just started reading from You Don't Know JS, the book. I'll show what it looks like. More on assignments later. A general expression that stands alone is called an expression statement, such as the following. So that would be fun to do that more often. Let me throw that back on the ideas list. JavaScript bedtime reading. Cool. Yeah, and JT has a good point. Well, I'm getting caught up here. Create like a Google Voice number where people can call in and like basically leave a message so that I can screen them. I love it. Yeah, Google Voice number to call in. Whoa, Fernando says make a VR front end using an A-frame. This could potentially go under maybe like tech agnostic. I haven't done anything like augmented reality or virtual reality. It'd be really fun to do. I've like dabbled in stuff like that, but haven't done any videos on it. Ooh, Ashfaq is mentioning, can we have a sub channel for pair programming in Discord? You know what? I don't know if this is exactly what you're thinking, but yeah, so like people in the community, like what if you want to pair together, or what if you want to work on an idea together? It doesn't have to be stream related, but it's just like in the greater Coding Garden community, you want to find somebody to work with. I like that. Where should this go? It's not a show type. It's really like community idea. Pair programming. Here, find a person to pair with in the Discord. I like that. I might actually just create that channel soon. Hermano has a suggestion for labels, DevOps. I like it. So this could potentially be under like workflow or tools, but these days there's just so many different things like Docker, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and that could be specific to those things. Yes. I have not worked with WebAssembly. Could be an interesting topic. I think that would go under front end tech. I maybe need to let's think of a better label for these. Not like front end tech or back end tech. I don't know. Maybe there's a better label that we can come up with. Forever alone. Cool. My username is Ryder. Nice question. What font is that? It is Dank Mono. This is part of this Code Sandbox website. They have a few to choose from. This was the default one. See you later, gaming, but not really. Have a good night. Yeah, and so Justin has a suggestion. We haven't exactly formalized this, but Justin says, not sure if this was mentioned, but starting an open source project where you and the community can collaborate on a legit solution could be fun and interesting in many ways. Yeah, so like instead of like, because we have on show types like community hackathon or hackalong, but this literally could be, and maybe it's not even a stream, but it's just a GitHub repo that people can contribute to. I mean, I will say pretty much any repo on the Coding Garden organization, I am open to pull requests and suggestions for like how to fix this code or make it better. But we could start something from scratch, which is basically let's build this together. And it could also be like those that are new to open source and new to like coding. It's an easy way to help, but like not feel like you're going to be messing anything up. It's like a good way to learn open source. Let's put this more under a community. Collaborate on big project. In quotes, big project. Yeah, and so I think, did I read someone else's comment? Jim has a, maybe that's who I read. I don't know. I'm a little out of it, but determining a non-trivial project idea and making an open source project that the community develops together. So collaborate on, I like that, non-trivial project. We'll just be like a GitHub repo. Use a Trello board or a GitHub project to keep track of work. And this would be another nice thing, like as a new developer, you may have never worked on a team or collaborated together. So this would be a good introduction to like pulling stories from a Kanban board and deciding that you're going to work on that one specific thing. Definitely. Cool. Gavin has a suggestion. What about understanding design concepts and re-engineering sites or apps or whatever? I think I'll put that under show types. So like I've seen other YouTube channels do it where they do design patterns or even like system design. Let's throw that on here. Definitely. Hello, Himanshu. Welcome to the stream. JT says, have you seen the book Beautiful Code? Don't know if I have. Leading programmers explain how they think. How old? When was this published? Published in 2007. Cool. I will admit I have not read Clean Code in its entirety, but I am a fan of Uncle Bob and the idea of clean code. So I do sort of like abide by this. Nick Z says it's too late. And hello, Nick Z. Welcome. Wait, what time is it there? Night. It's 11 p.m. in New York. Kat is suggesting once a month you do a day in the life video. I like it. So like right now, my life consists of waking up whenever I want to, eating whenever I want to, streaming if if I feel like it. Pretty soon, I most likely will have a job. So that would be cool to see once I am back in the dev world. Just like, what does a real dev do? Definitely. All right, I'm catching up. Day in the life, news updates, channel and community updates. I mean, I like that. So like, once we start to get more into this kind of stuff, like we have the project, we have being able to pair, just like community updates. I like it. And like potentially we could get a Hangouts going where it's not just me and my voice. It's community. People from the community can be on stream as well, just talking about what they're working on. Oh, that's a good thing, Amy. Will we see guests that have that you've had before, like series with feathers? That's one thing that I definitely want to do more often. Maybe I can do it like once or twice a month. Is just pairing with other devs. So I did a stream with friend, former colleague Chad, and we did feathers.js. I did a stream with Brooks from Brooks Builds. Shout out to Brooks Builds real quick. He does live streams where I think lately he's been learning Rust. Brooks Builds. Here he is. Oh yeah, and that's this is the video that we did together. We built a brick breaker game with P5JS, and we paired on it live, which was really fun. He streams on Twitch, but then he'll upload to YouTube, so check him out. But that's definitely one thing that I want to do is just pair more. I got to do the show Coding Train and got to meet Dan and all that, but it would be really fun to have him on for like a Newbie Tuesday or just like a pairing app. Maybe even reaching out to other YouTubers and just pairing live on an app. Definitely want to do those kinds of things. I see. So Hermano is mentioning, like, in regards to collaborating on non-trivial projects. I mean, I think it's here, like, it is something that could, if I don't have the time or interest to maintain anymore. But I mean, as long as we've built up a community of people that do want to help out and do want to maintain it, I'm more than willing to like leave it on the Coding Garden GitHub organization. But I mean, you're right, like. Eventually, like, I may not have time to do it, but so it could go by the wayside. I do have a suggestion for how to contribute to an open source project. That could definitely just be a stream in and of itself. Like, pick an open source project, look at the issues on GitHub, and kind of like talk through my process. But it would be like slightly separate than like working as a community. This is off topic, but fun question from Wally because I do this all the time. In some of my older videos, I do !G or !npm, and it just goes to those sites. This is specifically because of DuckDuckGo. Hello. So I use DuckDuckGo as my search engine, and it has these things called bang commands. So if you do !, you can reach out to Google, Wikipedia, Stack Overflow, GitHub, NPM, many different things. So one thing you'll see me do sometimes is, okay, I'm not finding what I'm looking for on DuckDuckGo. Bang G will jump to Google, or bang NPM will search NPM for that term, or bang GitHub will search that. So it's a DuckDuckGo thing, and I have DuckDuckGo set as my default search engine. That 13% battery though, appreciate that, Radhika. I think I might end it soon. Like, I mean, this was really good, and I really do appreciate all the suggestions. Like, just talking it out, it makes sense to use a GitHub repo to do this. My only thing is I want to make sure that it stays organized, like slightly more organized than this and this, so it allows me to better like take community feedback and turn that into streams and videos. And then in terms of these show types, like, this is awesome. I think like one thing I can do is just for the upcoming week, schedule some streams where I specifically plan to do like these specific things, and it helps me basically have ideas for what I will stream. Oh, and that's a good point. Amy has a suggestion, like, if I do Newbie Tuesday with Coding Train, we could both take a turn being a noob to something. Yeah, because like most of the streams I have been, well, I would say like with Chad and with Brooks, it was a lot of like back and forth. I was a little bit of the lead with Chad, but with Brooks it was a lot of back and forth. But yeah, have it to where like I'm the noob. I'm the one that has to ask for help and be guided by the other person. Let me get my charger. Yeah, be right back. And Hermano made the comment, what happened with, I'm going to use Firefox now. So I use Firefox for all of my personal browsings, which is why when I'm streaming, I'm using Chrome. But for all the things that I do, I use Firefox. So I use Firefox quite a bit. One thing I ran into, which like, and I have been using it for like personal development. One thing I ran into was there were some like really weird Flexbox issues with Firefox, where like I would code something using Flexbox. If I looked at it in Chrome, it did what I expected it to do. But if I tried it in Firefox, like really weird things would happen. Don't know exactly what that was, but that kind of like turned me off to developing with Firefox. I don't know. Nino is asking what kind of keyboard do I use. This is a mechanical keyboard. It's nothing special. I got it on Amazon for about $50. Really just wanted to like try out a mechanical keyboard. I forget the brand, but it's cool. JT is mentioning, I heard the coding train is using Python now. I mean, I think he's dabbling in other tech, which is something like I want to do as well. Like most of my streams have just been JavaScript based, but especially coding train doing things like machine learning and neural networks and stuff like that. There are a lot of Python libraries that do that, so it's good to be multi-tech. Cool. I think this is good. Can we think of any other labels to add here? And I think like after the stream, I'll kind of like formalize this. I'll make a README in landscaping. Ooh, I already got a star. Cool. Basically for like how to contribute, how to organize things. I'll create the labels, and then I'll start to take these things and put them in. So I guess this is one thing to think about. Okay, so I have this polling website. What's the best way to take these things and make them as issues? Should I do all of that myself? Should I make it like the community has to do this? Like, okay, you've suggested it on here, but let's if you want to keep it as a suggestion, you should open an issue. That way, the person's name is still like tied to it. No. Ashfaq is mentioning game engines. I guess I've never done anything like that. I do have a something on here for simple games with vanilla JavaScript, but it would be cool to use a game engine or code a game engine. Let's throw it on here. But soon this will be a GitHub issue. Yeah, Alka is mentioning write a script to move it. I mean, I think my main concern, or just like the how do I keep this as like community focused in terms of like if someone suggests an idea, they're kind of like the champion of that idea, or like they get to give a little bit more feedback on it. It could just be, I think because I used Google login on this site, I could write a script that emails the person that submitted the idea and says, hey, if you want to keep this idea, please add it to a GitHub issue. I might do that. So right now we're talking about organization. How do we transfer the polling site and Trello board? One idea is email the people that added to the poll, ask them to open an issue. Cool. And Rand just said, congrats on 4K. Thank you so much. This is, let's go to my channel. Heavily influenced by my guest spot on Coding Train. I think in just the 1 week after doing the stream on Coding Train, I got like, I think a couple days ago it was 800, just like the past day I've gotten 100, but let's say like roughly 800 subscribers just from doing that. So shout outs to all you from Coding Train for coming over. And yes, I'm growing very fast. And hello, Greg. Greg is mentioning, wasn't I just at 1K? So I would say in the past 3 months, I have tripled, almost quadrupled in subscribers, which is awesome. Yeah, and JT makes a good point, which is kind of why I want to do this. So like, in one sense, we might lose some ideas from here, but at the same time, by making the community move them over, anyone that wasn't like vested in that idea, it becomes lower priority, or they haven't necessarily added it yet. Cool. Oh, Greg is mentioning, I could put their name in the title. Let's say write script to move over, put name in title. People are mentioning the audio is a little low. I can sort of fix that. Hello. I mean, check. Hello. I know there was an issue with my older videos. The audio was not that great at all. Lately, I think this is okay. I brought the audio down just a little bit earlier because it was peaking. It looks like it's fine now. Hopefully, those of you didn't have I didn't just blare in your ears just now. Cool. JT says, hockey stick growth, invest now. Oh, so Jim has a suggestion. So like, something like a game engine, but twist it to make some sort of business app. These are all great ideas. I would suggest once I get the GitHub issues going, add them as an issue here. But okay. Cool. Stang Lover has a random question. Can you discuss your experience with JSX with larger teams where a separate user experience UI team is involved? I have not been a part of something like that. I can see, I guess, where the issue might be, in that like the UX or the UI team is creating like the render functions with JSX, and then it's up to another team to hook it up to state and make the app actually work. But I don't have experience with that. And Hermano has a good point. Do a GitHub template issue. So using each idea source is an issue. Issue template. Yeah, and I think that's the main thing in terms of like trying to stay organized is like people can't just submit anything they want. Like they have to answer specific questions. Yes. So when they answer those questions, we could actually automate adding labels. So like automate labels based on title or question answer, or like answers. Template questions. Cool. Alka has some stats. So I reached 1,000 on May 19th. So May, June, July, August, September. So this is 4 months later. 2,000 on July 6th. So that was 2 months in between 1,000 and 2,000. 3,000 before September, and then 4,000 just in the last few days. July 5th, not 6th. I guess it depends on what time zone you're in, so that's cool. Okay. I like this. I think this was a good use of my time. I'm actually feeling a little bit better. Like I mentioned, I'm getting over a cold. Like, I'm a little stuffy. It's kind of hard to think straight, but this is good to kind of flesh this stuff out. So I think that's what I'll do. I have my action items. I'm going to create an issue template. Eventually, we can do some sort of automation where, like, when an issue is added, let's also say send message to Discord when a new issue is added, but then also have some sort of automation where it sees the new issue and then adds a label that is app idea, front-end tech, back-end idea. Let's just say app idea, no tech, front-end tech, back-end tech. Another thing was, let's say like app constraints. Sort of got this idea from Fun Function. So this is another YouTube channel that I watch all the time. He did some streams, well not streams, but basically challenges that he uploaded as edited videos. Like which one was it? Oh, this one, Zeet, serverless, and Docker. He basically looked at his Twitter feed for like weird app ideas and constraints, and then built the app where one constraint was you can't use variables. So it would be fun eventually, like once we have enough of these constraints and ideas, I could even do a stream where I pick a random idea with like 2 random constraints and like 2 random texts, and then just like build the thing. Cool. Oh, Hermano's mentioning a drunk coding stream. I actually don't drink that much, and I always hate drinking because I feel horrible afterwards. I'll add it. This will be like a once every 3 months thing if it happens. Cool. There's a question, are you going to make us watch Ty Lopez ads after you hit the big time? I hope not. I don't know. Like one thing is like right now, because my channel is so small, with advertisements, I'm making like 50 cents on a video. So I'm not really making much money on the given videos. I've contemplated just like turning it off, at least for now. And then maybe putting a call out, hey, support me, do Patreon or something like that, rather than having to show ads. I don't know. JK was mentioning Method. Yeah, I've seen some videos from them as well. I think I watched, was it a Snake game? Tetris game? Yeah, they've done a lot of, well, maybe I watched the Pong one. Him and Fun Function have a really cool like editing style and really cool like presentation of what they've done. All right. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. I'll get this stuff together. I will definitely update the channel with upcoming live streams. So, and I'll put that here. And if you haven't watched the collab with Coding Train, check out that video. It's still on my channel. But yeah, I'll put upcoming live streams here. I'll definitely incorporate some of these show types. We'll get the GitHub issues going. It's going to be great. Any lingering questions, thoughts, comments before we end this thing? And also, I guess there are only a few people left in here, but I kind of like the idea of using Code Sandbox because, I mean, just to show really quick, those of you that didn't click on it, if you go there, you can actually see me typing live. So this would be cool to do during live streams because you can actually see the code that I'm writing. There would be like a bit of a delay, or like you would probably see the code before you see it on stream, but cool. Rain is asking, I forget, are there Coding Garden t-shirts? There are. If you go to coding.garden/support, there is a link to stickers and merchandise. They're on Redbubble. So you can see the stickers here, but if you look at t-shirts, you can see the various t-shirts. Actually, I have a sample. Let me grab it. So this is one I actually got printed for Dan. I planned on giving it to him, but actually let me show. Right back. Oh yes, here it is. So you can't see it because it's like faded out, but I ordered one, had it shipped to New York, and then it didn't print that well. You can see that it's kind of like faded, but Redbubble was super nice. They said we messed up, and they just sent a better one. So I'm actually going to ship this to Dan. Cool. And question from Radhika. Before you go, does this mean you'll be going back to regular live streaming? I do plan on it. So I don't want to say 5 days a week because I am kind of like, I'm searching for a job right now. Eventually I will have a job. I won't have as much time, but in the meantime, I will be streaming, let's say at least 4 days a week, at least. Yes, these t-shirts are 100% cotton. Greg was saying, it looks like I'm walking into the browser store. Let's see. And then I came back with a t-shirt. That's awesome. Okay, that's it. I keep talking, but I have my action items. This was great. Huge shout out to everyone that tuned in, provided suggestions. If you're watching this afterward, feel free to throw comments below or open an issue or throw a message in the Discord if you have other ideas for how we can organize all of this and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Actually, I was just going to show this animation really quick, but then I forgot my outro video has an animation. Okay, but thanks for tuning in wherever you are in the world. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. We'll see you next time. Here's this.